Hello and welcome to 8th week. I can actually believe that this is the final week of my second year here at Oxford. It is Trinity term, it is Thursday today, and I've only got Friday, Saturday, and then I go home for the summer. So one sentiment of this video is going to be, make sure that you enjoy your time at the place where you are presently, because it will soon be gone, and then you'll be moving on to the next step in your journey of life. Make sure you make the most of everything that you do. Okay, so that's my piece of wisdom for this video, and now I'm going to tell you about the Saïd Business School. This is an aspect to Oxford that quite a few people probably don't really experience as undergrads. However, I am involved with the Saïd Business School because of the Google Online Marketing competition that I am doing, because the members of my team go there, and I also had some sort of past liaison with it for a project that I did in Michaelmas. Now this week there have been lectures by a guy called Clayton Christensen, who is this really big dog at the Harvard Business School. I will add information about him down there because he's an incredibly cool guy, he is insanely intelligent, and he's doing a lecture series all about economics and management theory and business at the Saïd Business School, and I had the privilege of being able to attend those lectures by registering, and today is the last day in which he's doing the lectures, and I will tell you what he's been saying in the previous two lectures because they're interesting thoughts. The reason I wanted to go to these lectures is because I am slightly doubtful over the value of a business degree. I am a person who thinks that you should go out into the world and do business. That's how you should learn business. So I wanted to go to these lectures to see if management theory and all these other things actually had anything credible to them. And the thing is, they do have something credible to them, and that's why there is an entire business school set up to teach people these things. But this lecture was criticising the things that we were teaching people, and they can be applied to a wide variety of things. So I'm going to convey these concepts that he was conveying, and then let you guys think about whether there's any value to these things. So I would appreciate your comments on the things that I am about to say. So the theme of the lectures was all about how stupid managers don't make these really bad decisions. It's more about the system that they operate within, and how those things actually do influence enough the system and the mechanisms going on for the outcomes to come out how they do. One of the things that he cited, and there are two I'm going to mention, the one being metrics and the other one being focus. So with metrics, this is what you measure. So what are you actually looking at and what you're measuring when you're doing a task? So to give an instance of how important metrics are, think of, say, you are given the challenge as a group of people to increase the percentages of people who attend your society. So say you have a society, there are 100 members and 40 of those people attend, and it's your job to increase that percentage. At the moment you're working with 40%. Now there are two ways of doing this. Either you increase the number of people who actually attend your society by making the 40 increase to 41, 42, 43, etc. Or you can decrease the number of people who are on your system as members of your society. He phrased this as making the denominator smaller, so you move the 100 people, say, to 90, thus your percentage is now higher. However, this is kind of cheating, and it's kind of a negative way of approaching the problem, because you're pushing people out as opposed to bringing them in. And this was his point. So say if instead of the metric being the percentage, we made it just the nominal figure of people who attend your society. I want you to increase that figure. That's what the task I'm giving you is. So you'd look at the 40 and see all these people who are not attending of the other 60 and be like, hey, where's Jim? I haven't seen Jim for a while. We should really go get Jim and tell him to come along. So you are actively finding the inactive members of the society and bringing them in the society again, or reaching out and then trying to increase your numbers like that. So it's a positive way of solving the problem. Then he put this within the context of economics and business and showed how the metric that businesses use can affect whether they negatively or positively approach a problem. And this is one of the reasons that he cited as why we are getting kind of economic stagnation. So the next time you perform a task that might be like this, here's a little thing. Instead of working with percentages and ratios, try work with nominal figures and try work in a way that is positive to contributing to the actual purpose of the thing you're trying to increase participation of or the numbers of. Now focus is the next thing that he was talking about, and this is incredibly interesting, especially from a marketing perspective, which is the thing that I'm interested in. He said that businesses should be focusing on the job that needs to be done and portraying themselves as the company that will help you get that job done, rather than trying to produce these fantastic projects and constantly tweak them. I'll give two examples. So say you're a young couple, you want to furnish your apartment, you need chairs, you need tables, you need pianos, I don't know, and you think to yourself, where would I go? And the business school kind of like grumbled in a kind of shy way, IKEA. Having done this JCI refurb, I recently bought some sofas from IKEA, so I thought the exact same thing because I needed a job to be done, and that was the first brand that I thought of that could help me get the job done. Now, from a business perspective, as opposed to actually trying to understand your consumers, as opposed to trying to identify myself as a 20-year-old student who wears yellow tops with foxes on and attends Oxford, you should really be focusing your strategy on the job that I want to get done and making yourself identifiable as the company who can make that job happen. The other thing is a McDonald's story, and this is all about smoothies. You may have heard this before, but it's an incredibly interesting story. So McDonald's wanted to increase the sales of their milkshakes in their company, so they thought, right, this, according to our data, this is the average consumers of our different types of milkshakes. Thus, we will have focus groups and we'll ask them what do they want to improve, what is your ideal milkshake, and then we'll market them. However, turns out that was a complete flop. That didn't increase the sales of milkshakes at all. So what they did instead was this. They had a person sit down and observe day in, day out, the people that came in and bought these milkshakes, and there was a theme that emerged. The majority of the milkshakes were sold in the morning, and they were sold to males. And when confronting these males, and they asked them, yo, why are you buying these milkshakes? What job did you need to be done that you needed to utilize a McDonald's milkshake to help you get that job done? Now, the response was, well, actually, probably they were a bit shocked to be asked this, but the response was that they had a long drive ahead of them, and they wanted something to keep them amused while they were driving that would fill them up and not keep them hungry. If you think of other things such as donuts, they're messy and sugary. You think of a coffee, it's hot, you might spill it, whereas the milkshake stays in place and it's cool and refreshing. You think of a banana, it's gone in 3 seconds, whereas the milkshake, you can make it last for like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depends how viscous it is and how tasty it is. So what McDonald's ended up doing, because they had now identified the job that needed to be done, i.e. alleviate boredom during the journey to work, they decided to spice up these milkshakes. Now, they spiced them up with fruit, and they did not do this to be healthy, they did this because they wanted to add a sense of excitement to the milkshake, to when you're sucking your straw, suddenly you get a piece of blueberry and you're reconnected with humanity. So those stories show how focus and metrics are incredibly important to allow you to deal with a problem, because there are base assumptions that we have that we don't actually know that we have those assumptions when we are actually approaching the problem. So this is incredibly useful in business and incredibly useful in life, and I think that that is probably the value of studying business. Studying business in a prescribed kind of like regurgitate all this information in this practice, that's not really what I really like. I like this whole assessment of actually the way in which we operate and seeing what the flaws are in how we operate and whether we've created the system ourselves through these assumptions and through this just general way of operating that is leading us down this path that isn't really working economically, looking at, say, the GDP to debt ratio in Japan. That isn't too good, and also the economy of the UK and the USA, just to name 2 other countries. Okay, so please do forgive me for talking about business stuff. But all these ideas that I've conveyed, they haven't been fully unpacked. However, I'll be happy to discuss them down in the comments if you do have any thoughts on them. However, now let's get on to more exciting things, and sorry for not talking about PPE in this video. So, Simon and I have been looking at challenges, and I saw him today, and we are still taking challenge suggestions, and we will be, hopefully sometime this week, filming the challenge if the weather is up to it, and putting it on YouTube. However, as this is 8th week, this is probably my last video for quite a while, and if we don't get the challenge video up, this is potentially goodbye. If you do have any suggestions for what we could do as a community over the summer, because like we've grown now, it's like 800 of us. We could do something cool. If you do have any ideas, do let me know, send me a message, post something in the comments. See you on Sunday, Simon. Goodbye, have lovely summers, and good luck on all your exam results. That was weird. Who was that? It was like a rhino.